scriptures are that I want. Shekinah's going around and taking over everybody's food order, by the way. So if she comes up, she says, what do you want? She wants to know what you want to eat.
So is Mommy going to cook us supper tonight?
She's going around and seeing what everybody wants to eat. So.
You want a McDonald's?
Oh, all right, McDonald's.
Well, I'm not sure where the scripture is. I guess I should have looked it up earlier. If anybody can find the scriptures on where Jesus asked the disciples, will you walk away as well? Where a bunch had walked away and asked the apostles if you were going to walk away as well. You know what scriptures I'm talking about? Yeah, that's on my mind. I just don't have that one wrote down or looked at. I know it's in the Gospels. That's why I was looking through my harmony of the Gospels. Sorry, guys. I wasn't as prepared tonight. I've actually had a rough 3 days. I've been in some level of pain for 3 days, and so by the third day, I'm kind of just wore down. So tonight, I'm pretty wore down. So you have to bear with me just a moment. Don't forget that, Shekinah.
What day is the joke?
Did you find it, Monica? Okay. It would be New Testament. It's Jesus, where he had taught, and then there was people that didn't like his teaching, and they left. And he asked the disciples if they would be walking away, or if they would. Since Jennifer knows which scriptures I'm talking about. No, this is the New Testament. So if anybody finds it, we'll go there. But
it's in John 6.
John 6.
That's right.
And I'm right there. I turned to it. Thank you, Brother Jerry.
Like 60 in the 60s.
66.
The 67 is where he actually asked.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So let's start at 59. Verse 59. John chapter 6, verse 59. Thank you so much, Brother Jerry.
You're welcome.
I knew it was somewhere. I turned right. I just opened up to John 6. I was flipping. I was like there. So, starting at verse 59. These things said he in the synagogue as he taught in Capernaum. Many therefore of his disciples, when they heard this, said, "This is a hard saying. Who can hear it?" And when Jesus knew in himself that his disciples murmured at it, he said unto them, Doth this offend you? What and if ye shall see the Son of Man ascend up where he was before? It is the Spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit, and they are life. There are some of you that believe not. For Jesus knew from the beginning who they were that believed not, and who should betray him. And he said, Therefore said I unto you, that no man can come unto me, except it were given unto him of my Father. From that time many of his disciples went back and walked no more with him. Then said Jesus unto the 12, Will ye also go away? Then Simon Peter answered him, Lord, to whom shall we go? Thou hast the words of eternal life, and we believe and are sure that thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. Jesus answered them, Have I not chosen you 12, and one of you is a devil? And he spake of Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon, for he it was that should betray him, being one of the 12. Can't talk with a piece of candy in my mouth. So, I was flipping through channels Sunday, between Sunday school and church Sunday night, and we had watched a movie and various things, and I flipped through channels while Tony takes his Sunday nap. And I ended up on, it's 42, on our TV is 42-3, because we do the free channels. So it's called the Juice channel now. And it used to be called the Church channel, and they've changed it up, and it's a channel now that, it's by the TBN network, that is more geared towards teenagers and, you know, the younger generation. They play a lot of music videos and that. Even the skit guys are on there from time to time. I don't know if you've ever seen the skit guys. If not, I would tell you to go out to YouTube or even just Google on the internet the skit guys and watch some of their skits, because they are hilarious for one thing, but they are Christian comedy. And they will do things that tells the different accounts from the Bible. One of them, the one I really enjoy, is the Adam and Eve. And them going back and forth and trying to cover each other because God's talking to them, and, you know, they're just trying to replay it and get it in a context that the younger generation, of course, will listen to it. And so I flipped through the TBNs, and, you know, 42.1 really wasn't anybody on there that I wanted to listen to, that interested me. 42-2, there still wasn't anybody on there, and I flipped over to 42-3, and they had this, I think it's called Voice Conference. And I watched a little bit of it here and there, and this is from 2012. They're replaying this voice conference, and it's more of a teenager, 20-something conference. And they have younger ministers and different ones on there, and younger artists, just trying to really lift the younger generation up. So I landed on it, and I thought, I'll listen to this for a while, and was listening along to it. And at the very end of the program, this guy, you know, comes on and does a dialogue, you know, trying to speak to people. What would you do? You know, tell them this, tell them that. One of the last things that he said was, "Are you a fan or are you a follower?" And that stuck with me. Are you a fan or are you a follower? And it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I sit there and I thought, wow, God, am I a fan or am I a follower? You know, and it really, I thought, people need to hear that, especially in church, in Christian life. You need to hear that, and you really need to think about that question. Just that one simple question, are you a fan or are you a follower? Because, you know, you think about it, and probably the perfect example is the Colts, okay? I'm not a sports fan by any means. I don't watch sports. I never have. You can ask anybody in my office. They will tell you we keep sports to the minimum. The one guy that works for me in my office says he does not open up sports unless somebody comes up in and starts talking to him about it, because he knows I don't like to hear it. And so, you know, but here a few years ago, where did they go? They went to the Super Bowl, right? You know, the season built. I mean, sports fan or not, you know this. The season built. They kept winning. They kept doing better. Well, the stadium got more packed. More and more people. More and more people. It got bigger, and it got bigger, and it got bigger, and they went to the Super Bowl. How many of those people were followers of the Colts? How many of those people had season tickets? Had all the stuff, all the, you know, memorabilia and all the paraphernalia to celebrate, and got, you know, Colts license plates on their car and this and that, who really, that's their team and that's who they're going to support. They know every person that's on that team, what position they play, their stats. They know when they should play, when they shouldn't. You know, if they could, they'd be coaching that team. Not fans, they're followers. They're followers. Now, you watched it from the first of the season to the end of the season that year. How many people came on board? They were fans. The momentum picked up. And picked up, and it kept going and rolling, getting bigger and bigger, and this person's like, oh yeah, I like the Colts. I like the Colts. They haven't rooted for them in 4 years. But oh yeah, I'm a Colts fan. I love the Colts. I watch them. Yeah, I know they're a good team. Blah 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 blah. By the end of it all, I'm with you. But by the end of it all, how many people around this state, especially this area, being so close to Indianapolis, how many people do you know that you've never heard talk about the Colts before, and all of a sudden, wow, they are just ready. They were going to the Super Bowl. Things got exciting. Things got exciting. They caught fire. And people jumped on the bandwagon. They just like, woo, yeah, here we go, here we go, here we go. They just jumped on that bandwagon. And they rode that bandwagon all the way to the Super Bowl. What's happened in the last couple of years? They lost this player, they lost that player, Colts went down, no more Super Bowl. You know, I couldn't tell you, they may be struggling, they may not have been struggling, I don't know, because whether they were at the Super Bowl or not. We watched a couple of Super Bowls, and that's about what we do, is we may watch a little bit of a Super Bowl just to see what's going on. I don't understand chasing a ball and throwing it up and down the field. Doesn't make sense to me. But you know, you think about that. And how many of you were guilty of this? Okay? Momentum picked up. You became a fan. Then once Super Bowl was over and everything was done, the next season came along, how many people were like, not back again? Those are the fans. Those are the fans. They're just a fan. They're only going to be there in the good times. The followers are there when it gets low. When things aren't as nice as they used to be. When things aren't as exciting as they used to be. The followers are still there. They still have their season tickets. They still wear their Colts jerseys. They still have stickers and license plates on their car. They've got, you know, phone covers. They've got everything that's Colts. They're still there. They're still following that team. They're still going with them wherever they go. But all these people that joined up along the way when they were going to the Super Bowl, they just fell off. After the excitement was over, they just fell off. Now you relate this to this set of scriptures. Jesus has started getting people to follow him. He's preaching the Sermon on the Mount and telling these parables, doing that, doing all this stuff, doing these great miracles, healing people. I mean, blind can see, deaf can hear, lame can walk, the withered man's arm has been restored. Lazarus gets raised from the dead at one point, which I believe is after this. But, you know, he's doing these miracles. People start coming along. Ooh, look! Ooh, look at all the excitement that's happening. The buzz gets to going, just like the Colts did. The buzz gets to going around. Did you hear about this guy? Did you hear what he did over here? Did you hear what he did over in that city? Oh, he got out on the sea and he taught. And he taught some amazing doctrine to us. Nothing, it's radical. Nothing we've ever heard before. The buzz got to going. Then Jesus sat down and he told them like it was. And he gave them some hard teaching. And those people who got all excited by, woo, look at all this is happening, they go, wait a minute, that's not what I wanted to hear. I don't want to know that. Who does he think he is? Really? He thinks we should learn that? And they walked away. They weren't followers. They were fans. They wanted to be in the excitement. They wanted to be in the limelight. They just wanted to be there when things were going good. Temple's moving fast. People were getting healed. Shouting was taking place. But once the teaching got to the core, once you got to the core of the matter, to what it's all about, they didn't want nothing to do with that. They're like, I'm not staying any longer. If you're going to teach that kind of stuff, I'm leaving. I'm done. And they walked away. And you know, it says here that many of them walked away. Many of them. It wasn't just a few. It wasn't just a couple. It wasn't even just what I would call a handful. Probably wasn't even a dozen. Because at that point, you know, we've heard at one time he had 4,000 people he fed. Another time he had 5,000. And that wasn't all the people. That was the men. Not the women and the children. That's just the count of the men. So you think about the number of people that are following Jesus and coming out to see and hear. And all of a sudden he teaches them something they didn't like. Something they didn't want to hear. He hit a nerve. He hit a nerve in them. Ooh, you're getting too close to home now. We can't have that. You can't tell me what I'm doing's wrong. That's no. I've been doing this my whole life. That's what I was taught to do. Hit a nerve. And they said, and it says many of them walked with him no more. No more. They weren't followers. They were just fans. They were just fans. And see, that's the way our life is. We have to determine, and we have to ask ourselves, and we have to dig deep. You know, it keeps coming back to that, examine yourself. Because that's what it's all about. You have to take care of your own self. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You don't work out with somebody else's salvation for them. You work out your own, which means you need to examine yourself and your life. And you need to take that question, are you a fan or are you a follower? And you need to turn that inward and dig deep inside your heart and find out what your intentions are and come to that answer. Because God doesn't want fans. Fans just blow wind. That's all they do. They're full of air. They move the air around. That's what fans do. If you're a fan, all you're going to do is move a lot of empty air around. There's no sustenance to it. A follower is going to dig in their heels and they're going to say, you can't move me. Like the tree. You can't move me. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, I'm here. And I'm here for the long haul. Amen. And you see, Jesus turned around and looked at the disciples and said, will you walk away also? Are you going to leave too? Just all these people just left. Because they didn't agree with me. They didn't like what I said. Are you going to leave too? He gave them an open option there. Open door. Then here's your chance. Are you going to leave? Everybody else did. And you know what? The disciples looked at him and said, nope. We're digging in our heels. We're here for the long haul. The 12 were his followers. Were true followers of Christ. Because they didn't turn their back on him. They saw him at his highest, and they saw him at his lowest. But they were there. They didn't go away. The fans left. We've got to take that and apply it to us. There's always that fine line of whether you are judging yourself or judging someone else. Okay? And that is always a difficult place to be for any human being. And I meditated and prayed and studied it. Me and Tony have talked about that time and time again. You have to be so very careful that you don't cross that line into judgment. But the Bible does tell us we need to at least be able to present to our brother if we see them in error, and we do it with humility. that doesn't mean we're judging people. Because what you judge out will be judged back to you. But what the Bible says is right, and what the Bible says is right and wrong.
That's right.
And standing up here and bringing this word forth. And you, Sister Jennifer, I know, would feel the same way, and Sister Daisy. You have to be so very careful as to what you say, because you're held to a higher standard when you are presenting it out to the body. The Bible teaches us that. So don't think anytime I get up here that I'm trying to judge any of you. That's not the way it is. I am presenting the gospel as God has shown it to me. If I am wrong in any aspect of that, I'm sure one of these people will tell me. And I welcome them to, because I do not want to tell anybody in error. So when you take the word out of this pulpit, now of this Bible that comes to you, you need to always turn it in on yourself. Turn it into you and say, okay, God meant that word to come out for a reason. What reason tonight do I have to say, are you a fan or a follower? Somebody here needs that word. At least one person. And it may just be me at this point. Because you can ask anybody who gets up behind this pulpit and speaks, a lot of times, if not most of the time, it's right back at you and it hits you. Like Sister Jennifer said, you have the cleats in your back. Because it is right back at you just as much as you're sending it out there. Because just being up here doesn't mean you're perfect. Being up here means you're forgiven. Being up here means that God has entrusted you with something to give. And you are to be a good steward and give that word out. Because there's someone out here that needs that word. That needs that to edify themselves. And that is what this is about. We are to come together as a body and edify each other, to lift each other up, to encourage each other, to help each other with their struggles. If someone's in fault and doesn't know it, it's our responsibility to help them.
That's right.
It's our responsibility to say, my brother, my sister, I'm not sure about this. I've seen this, and I'm not sure, and I just wanted to let you know that this may not be the best thing for you to do. Because if not, how will that person ever know?
That's right. How will they change?
How will they ever know what this Bible says unless we show it and we exude it from us? Are you a fan or are you a follower? A follower gets in the Word. A follower takes the Word and applies it to their own lives. A follower will be there through thick or thin. A follower knows that there's going to be highs and then there's going to be lows. A follower knows that when it gets low, God's there with you. When it's high, God's there too. No matter where you're at in that roller coaster, God's there with you. A fan, they come out when it's exciting. I mean, you think about it, and we've had some great services, and we've had some great ministers and singers and such around here. But you get a group come into this building. You look tonight, look at how many people's here. You get a group in this building, it overflows. Where's all those people all the other times? They're fans. Because all they want's that high. If that's all you want, you're not going to get anything. You're not going to get anything out of God. Because you're not going to get the Word. You're not going to get that deep teaching. And see, that's what Jesus Christ was doing here. He was teaching them the core standards. What the things they should do. When all you do is go after that high, and you're a fan, you don't get that in-depth teaching. You don't get into the Word even. Hardly. You're just following along. You just want to feel good. Because you want to know something? Whether you're a fan or a follower, when the momentum gets going, you feel it. Whether you're where you're supposed to be or where you're not supposed to be, it doesn't matter. Because when it gets going, Christian and non-Christian alike's going to feel it. Because it just spills over. There's no way that anyone can't feel it. So that's what they're after. I don't want to be like that. Because those people, the ones that are coming along as fans, are risking their eternal salvation. They're just playing around with God. Just wanting to follow what's exciting. Follow what's new. You look at an amusement park. I mean, honestly, you use amusement park, and I guess this comes up because I saw some article today where Holiday World's getting ready to announce the most exciting ride ever.
New ride.
Brand new ride. How many people do you think will be there day one when it opens? How many do you think was at Kings Island the day the King Cobra opened? How many people do you think care about it now?
Old news.
It's old news. Exactly. This is old news. 2,000 plus years old. This is old news. It's not new. It's not exciting. They want something that's today. They want to change it to fit today. Tickle their ears. The Bible warns us of that. The Bible warns us of that. I'd rather have the old news.
Come on.
Because you want to know something? The old news is the truth. The old news gives me something to live by. The old news doesn't guide me wrong. If I come around, Sister Arlene,
It's renewed daily if you read it.
but so many people don't understand that because they're fans and they're followers. That's true. I agree 100%. The old news is brand new every day. Because you see something new in it every day. It may have happened 2,000 plus years ago, but there's something new for me in here every day. If all you are is a fan, and all you do is follow the groups, and follow this person or follow that person, you don't get that. All you're getting is their little perspective of it. Because more than likely, all that's coming through is that momentum. And you're not getting the meat of it anymore. It's just the skim on the top. The film on the top. You gotta go through some rough times to really understand what the Word is. And that's what a follower does. You don't learn by being happy all the time. God's going to teach us new things. But you learn your best lessons by going through those tests and trials. By going through those valleys. And that's when so many people walk away. Just like they did with Jesus. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to do that. I don't care even if you've done all these miracles. I'm not staying. Very, very much too hard. Can't do it no more. And you know what, Jesus? You can't make me.
No. You won't.
You can't make me. I'm leaving. You can't make me stay. And Jesus won't. Because you want to know something? It's our choice. It's our choice whether we stay or whether we go. Whether we're a fan or whether we're a follower. It's our choice. So make sure that you're looking inside every day and making that determination and that assessment of yourself. Are you a fan? Are you a fan? A fair weather fan? Just like a fair weather friend? Or are you a follower of Jesus?
Very good.